Oh baby, so you want to build the banquette of your dreams, but you're also on a budget, but you're also very stubborn, and you have a very clear vision that you want to bring to life? Well, then this is the episode for you. This is Laugh Cry DIY. I am your host, Katie, and today we are doing something that I have been wanting to do on the channel for over 150 episodes, and that is build some banquette seating. But I'm a lazy so I don't actually want to build it, but I do want to hack it using some IKEA pieces. And honestly, maybe as much work as it would have taken to build from scratch. So let me start by introducing you to the star of today's show. So there are a lot of ways to hack a bench or banquette seating with IKEA pieces. For me today, we are going to use the IKEA Smastad toy box. Actually, it's pronounced Smastad, I think. And we're doing this for a few reasons. Number one, the length. I needed something that was about 106 to 108 inches. These three beauties together fit that space perfectly. Number two, a lot of people build banquette seating because they want storage, and a lot of times they do lift top storage, and that is absolutely not what I wanted to do. I think it's kind of inconvenient. People have to get up so you can move things around. It's just not the vibe. But these beautiful toy boxes are so great because it's a slide out drawer. And not only is it a slide out drawer, it is a drawer that slides all the way out. So you could like reload, do what you have to do, and you don't have to be like reaching in deep or bending over or whatever. Now the third reason I liked these was because they are budget friendly. They're about $100 each, but you can also score them off of Facebook Marketplace like I did. Now for that reason, you will see that they are a little dinged up. They have different holes for different hardware. There's some staining. You can tell they've been well loved. That's not a problem because we're gonna give these a glamorous makeover. However, we do have one huge moment of hell, and that is that these three beauties are 4 inches too tall. Why, God, why? When you are building banquette seating, you need to consider the base, the stability, as well as the cushions that are gonna go on top of it. Usually a kitchen or dining chair is about 18 inches high, and that usually goes with like a 28 or 30 inch table. But unfortunately, these beauties, they are 19 inches high. So if I added an extra 4 inches of, let's say, stability or pillows, we'd be up to what, 23 inches? That's a little too tall. So although I got these to make my life easier, I actually have to make my life harder by disassembling them and cutting these key pieces down about 4 inches. So I've actually spent about 3 hours measuring, remeasuring again, all to make sure that all of my cuts are gonna be accurate. And it's even more difficult because it's not just a square box, it's two pieces, different configurations. This piece, for example, has a weird lip, and I generally am just making life harder for myself, but it's all gonna be worth it in the end. So I have to disassemble them, prep them, and get them loaded up. So as you can see, just to make sure we don't miss any marks, I have labeled every direction, what needs to be cut, how much. Also, you should know I was fighting for my life, trying to figure out how to save inches and half inches and millimeters, and noticing a few things. For example, this frame comes with little feet, which are great, but they do add about a 1/4 inch extra. So we are gonna take those off forever. Goodbye. Wait, found an unmarked part. One thing to note when you're cutting down IKEA furniture is you need to pay attention to the construction and the joints and the existing kind of hardware pieces so that you don't cut that out and then can't reassemble it. And also mark everything, mark it all. Oop. Okay, time to get this transported. Wait. Okay, no, we're good. Okay, so I have recreated what's gonna happen here. And the great news is that my measurements were perfect, but we do have a moment of hell because I forgot that this front part's gonna be raised like a 1/4 inch. And this, boys and girls, is why we always measure 4 times, cut once, rebuild, measure again, and then cut another 1/4 inch. This is very stressful, and that's why I'm not doing this. I'm guys, we're good. Whew. But thank you to my boys at DXF for helping me out with this challenging idea. Nice. Guys, we are 4 inches shorter. I'm so glad the measurements worked. And now we need to do a little bit of work to stabilize and strengthen this before we zhuzh her up. Okay, first things first, these are obviously 3 different sections and they come apart. And we don't want them to do that. We want them to all be really strongly bonded together so that they can hold the stronger base. And to make that happen, I'm just gonna screw these base pieces together. All right, next up, we're going to reinforce the top by adding our thicker piece of plywood all across. So I went to the hardware store and I got a 3/4 inch plywood. You can see here, perfect fit, totally stable. Now, one note, if you also have to cut up wood on a piece like this to be able to transport it or to be able to get it in a room, here is one little thing I did to make sure that this was more stable. We have this even seam right down the middle, and so I made sure to cut this so that it just hung over the tiniest bit, and it made sure that it put pressure on the corner instead of right on the seam. Just for a little bit extra stability. That was a tip that my friend Robbie told me to do. So shout out to Robbie. So as we know, these are 2 separate pieces and we do need to make sure that they stay together under the pillows and stuff. So I'm just taking a simple little L bracket. Not gonna lie, I can't find my second one. I'll put it on later. But we're just gonna screw that bad boy on. And they're not going anywhere. And now guys, at long last, it is time to sass this baby up. And you would think we're gonna paint her, but oh no, we are not going to. We are going to semi-upholster her in a really crazy bold color. I'm talking lime green poly suede, I think. She is bold, she is bright, she is next level. We are simply going to use a spray adhesive and a staple gun. And to be honest, I don't have that many staples left. Always fun to do a project when half of the supplies I don't have or have run out of. Now, normally I might have done this upholstery properly, like with batting underneath, but because we have specific measurements and the way the doors go in, I didn't want there to be too much padding and then the doors wouldn't like shut flushly. So instead, we're just gonna kind of freestyle it. All right, I'm gonna start with this Gorilla Glue spray adhesive. I'll lie that down, smooth her out. All right, and I'm stapling under this side. One on the opposite side. I'm gonna do one more under here and under here. And yeah, now we're gonna flip it over for safety reasons because you shouldn't be stapling upside down. And for each side, I'm pulling tight and stapling from the middle out to keep everything really tight. Now let me show you how we're gonna do these corners. Okay, so basically we have this straight line going up here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna staple straight to there, and then you can basically fold over and staple back down that way. I'm not worried about this being too precise, but I do want to make sure that it's tight enough that it's not going to slip around a ton. Guys, I was really kidding myself. I gotta go get more staples. We'll be back. Okay, we have a lot more staples. And I think this first one is done. Ooh, so cool. Okay, next one. And we're spraying, and we're placing, and we're smoothing. And guys, I'm sorry this is chaotic upholstering, but it's just what it is today. And we're just doing a placeholder tack on each side. And guys, sometimes we gotta do some funky little like trimming, especially since stuff here is really like sloppy on the bottom. So we're just doing a little loosey-goosey stuff here. FYI, in the description below, I'm gonna link some videos to some really good upholstery tutorials that are not as chaotic as I am in this moment. But I hope you can kind of see how I'm wrapping these corners. Last one. Oh boy. All right, guys. We have the 3rd drawer done, and PSA, we almost had a moment of hell. When you're doing the spray adhesive, usually you're doing that for batting and then covering the fabric. Should you be doing that with fabric, make sure that there are not pools of glue that you're sticking the fabric into that then soak all the way through the fabric. Did that happen to us? Yes. Was I able to quickly soap and water it out? Yes. But I just wanted to say that because we gotta be honest about the hell that is DIY. Oh, also, I did the sides. So, I think it's time to put it all together. We gotta add our plywood back in. Guys, it's so good. All right, guys, we are in the home stretch. This is so exciting. And now it is finally time to add the top pillows. I don't think I've ever been so excited. I don't think you guys are ready. Let's go get them. My God, that's a 9-foot pillow, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I did not DIY these. I also didn't DIY this. Okay, here's the situation. I usually would try to DIY these pillows in a few ways, but the space that this is going in is a very specific space. I needed pillowcases that could be washed, ideally. And to be honest, I'm not that strong of a sewer in that capacity. So I actually had these custom made and they are incredible. But if you don't want to have to do custom made pillows, here are some things I was exploring as alternatives to be able to kind of hack this together. Kids floor pillows. They come in a lot of colors and they come in a lot of dimensions and they're thick enough to kind of be on a floor, so they're good for sitting. 2, regular floor pillows or yoga pillows. Those are also thicker and you could get multiple ones to span the length of your bench. I was also looking at regular bench cushions. You can buy those online in various sizes, but nothing was working with the color or the dimensions I needed. And so I did cop out, so sorry, and get the most stunning pillows of all time. Shout out to Europe Fabrics in the LA Fabric District for helping me out with this one. So the pillows still have to like settle from their packing, but I could not be happier. We have beautiful piping. The base is a 3-inch upholstery foam. It's totally zippered so I can remove and wash these. And most importantly, I have the storage of my dreams. And that is so freaking exciting. So guys, I think we did it. And I think we are officially ready for your final reveal. Well guys, what more is there to say? I'm beaming, I'm sweating, I'm kind of sticking to this, but I genuinely cannot stop smiling because it is so freaking cool. And again, really excited for you to see it in the real space. So stay tuned for that episode. And until next time, if you like DIY stuff, you can sign up for my newsletter below. I send out a monthly list of DIYs and inspiration. You can check out my furniture flip playlist for more fun hacking inspo. I'll have that linked below. And honestly, for now guys, I think I'm gonna go to sleep here forever. Okay. Ugh.